Well, my job just got really easy. I got to introduce you to Kim Brown, which is somebody I don't have to introduce you to. Where do you start with Kim Brown, right? Basically, everybody that's been to a spectacular for a few years has met Kim Brown. Ken's so talented. Ken's so friendly, outgoing, and helpful. Ken is, hang gliding wouldn't be what it is without Kim Brown. I'm sorry to say that we have to be out of here in 30 minutes, so I'm not going to waste your time with me talking. You guys know who Kim Brown is. I want to come up here. He's going to talk to you, but I'm really glad that we also are inducting Kim Brown this year. You guys know what this says. I'm not going to waste that time. I want Kim Brown to be able to get his call.
We do need to get pictures of everyone outside afterwards.
Yeah.
So Rob, don't run away.
Thank you, John, GW, the Rogallo Foundation. This is such an honor. Having been involved with hang gliding since 1980 has been absolutely the highlight of my life. It's been more than a highlight of my life. It's been my life. I put together a really good slideshow too, I think. And part of the really wonderful thing about this has been reflecting back and remembering everything that's happened and all the people that I've been touched by, worked with, flown with, competed against, had the pleasure of just being present in the sport with. And yeah. Oh. I really just, I could sit up here for the rest of the 30 minutes and name off names of all the people that have really helped me down this whole journey. And, people that I've just met this weekend, and people that I've known my entire hang gliding life, and my best man, Mark Bennett, and my best buddy, Jeff Williamson, and his two sons, and Susie Gale, and, everybody that has contributed to this is just wonderful. And road slides. I'm gonna have to go through these pretty quick, and my wife will help me with it. So every story starts with a beginning, right? So here's the beginning of Kim Brown with, having fun and being out. My early memories of adventure were up on Lake Washington, Washington. My dad would build the sailboats. He built that trimaran. He was a tugboat captain. And I really need to mention, I've got two dads that I was raised with. My mom, married twice, number two. Anyhow, I won't go into that. But both of them really contributed to a lot of what has made me, right? So next slide. Adventure, my mom is the adventure queen, man. She would say, oh, look, a cliff, go jump off it. And oh, look, build a rope swing over the road. And oh, look, let's go do something really fun. The neatest thing, well, what she would say is, what would be neat? And we would go do it next. And so she never really said go hang gliding, but in 1980, I'm 17 years old, looking for a job. My dad, my real father, who we moved to Salinas with, was working in a company that was owned by the father of the owner of Flight Designs. And so Flight Designs was the first company I worked for right out of high school. I was 17 years old, went to work there just doing stuff, packing up stuff, and started making parts. So next slide. So early flights, there's my Super Lancer 180. I got right into it. I just started flying. I mean, you guys say fly. I say fly. Right? And that's what I did. And it was amazing. And
some people can't see because you're standing.
Sue, move over there.
We can't see because you're standing.
So anyhow, the hang gliders, the trikes, I was so gifted with all of these toys to play with, and I took full advantage of it. And so, next slide. And then I got my brothers. You know, my two brothers, Rod, myself, Dan, my brothers that I grew up with, we were adventurers. We were the guys that played. Chris Bulger was one of my earliest buddies in hang gliding. And he drove me just to extremes of chasing this guy, man. Talk about talent. Next slide. There's the early hang gliding days. Dudley Mead, that's Rich Pfeiffer. There's Eric Robinson, more trike-flying. Next slide. So much fun. I was inducted into the Loud Birdman, that's why my voice is so loud, for flying early ultralights, which were the direct drive, 2-cycle. I could make the noise, but it would really hurt your ears. But Jack McCornack, who was one of the pioneers in ultralights, awarded me that at Sun Fun one year, and I've got a little badge on a hat that says Loud Birdman. And you know what the response to Loud Birdman? Are you a Loud Birdman? What's the response to that? Huh? Next slide. And racing. God, I love racing hang gliders. They are just the most amazing thing out there. They are magic. And so I started racing the dunes, right? Dunes, 1989, 1, 2, 3. Racing. My buddy Mark Bennett standing up there going, "Where's my bag of money?" and Dan Racanelli, that man taught me hang gliding and racing, man. I followed that man down so many ridges, chasing after him, and finally got to beat him. And so there we are. The next slide, thank you. That was with Delta Wing. So I went from Flight Designs to Delta Wing, and then Chris Bulger, who I was kind of right there with, he said, "We're doing airweight now." He went over to England. He actually came back from Himalayas meet that Jeff was at in the early 80s and said, "Man, these airweight gliders, we've got something here. Let's start importing those." So we started importing Magic 3s. And next slide, please. That's Rory Carter up there working on it. We did some of the early aerotow demonstrations. I know Jean-Michel Berlusconi was early on that in 1983. But here we are. Here's me doing a demonstration flight. We did a lot of aerotow demos, aerotow clinics up in Washington, teaching people how to aerotow. And we didn't have carts, so we just foot launched. And I tell you, man, foot launching a hang glider behind a trike is really fun. You hold back and you let it pull you, and away you go, and you prone out and haul ass, man. It is fast. And we were fast, man. We had Magic 4s, we had Magic 3s, Magic 4s. I got one of the early J. Gianforte CG1000s, and oh my God, they were so fast. And so, next slide, we're gonna really roll through this. So we took those racing, and again, for a number of years when we were racing Marina, it was Dan Racanelli, Chris Bulger, Ken Brown. Wasn't it, Mark Bennett? So we had a lot of fun, and you know, it's just speed, man, speed. So next slide, please. So again, it's all about the people. So the Pacific Airway, this is the early Pacific Airway crew. There's Susie Gale right there saying, "Ken, move, move." John Latour, I think Mikey Dew, Roz, George, I could go on.
Your brother right there.
My brother Rod is in there. Yeah, just a really tremendous group of people, very talented. Built every one of those damn pulses that we fly out of the beach. I mean, not damn pulses, those wonderful pulses. So much. So yeah, Joanne was taking the picture. She was there for that. Yeah. And my wife Joanne really deserves a lot of credit. But anyhow,
You don't want that.
Next slide. Yeah, there's the band. There is Kevin Ram. You might remember Kevin Ram.
Oh, the one from England.
And we got a lot of accolades for all of our gliders that we built. And this one's from GW. Thank you, GW. I mean, what a great supporter. We built the Mark IV for the schools. We built the Mark IV and the Pulse for the schools because we saw a need out there for a very good beginner glider that had performance, that was affordable, that would make dealers money when they sold them. And man, we made some dealers some money, and we did really well with those gliders. They were really still very popular. I mean, the fact that they're still out there being flown and enjoyed like they are is very, very gratifying for me. We did a lot of promotion with them. John Olson, we sent John Olson to Mexico with loads of gliders. Holy, John Olson, he had the magic, man. He would go down there, he'd bring people down and give them gliders to fly. And he did really well with Mark IVs. He took a couple of kisses down there. A little sketch for some people, but what an amazing performance glider that was. In fact, if I were to say what my favorite glider of all time was, it was the Kiss. Because that kind of transcended that performance Magic 4 and turned it into this very amazing thermally glider that we've just had so much fun with. Next slide. So here's more people. This is the Pack Air Crew Christmas card that we sent out. There's Jean-Michel, Dana, Jose, Howard Osselman, Kelly, Jeff Williamson, Jerry. I don't know who she was, me. I mean, the names are all there. The people were wonderful, and we've had some really talented people that we worked with over the years. There is Team R-Wave right there with Gibbo, Kerry Castle, Russ Locke on the end. Again, I don't know who the woman is to my right there, but
Who are you hanging out with?
And
Like the story.
she's a driver.
Next
She's
slide.
right. And there's again a crowd of guys. These are my buddies up in Reno area, Hernando. Hernando, Terry Cook. Just the guys. Paul Hamilton down in the corner. This kid here, Dark. He was my driver that summer. Dark. Dark. Mike. His son. We had a great summer, man. That kid drove me the green tea shotgun drawing. Oh my God, the green tea shotgun drawing. Poor kid. They knew what they were doing. They couldn't get me to go. Next slide. So I've been really fortunate. I've been able to fly some amazing sites and go do some amazing comps. This is flying off that beautiful Henson's ramp, flying off of Sandia. During some really epic conditions, flying sites and conditions. It's just amazing, amazing. I'm so fortunate to have all these experiences. So next slide.
I was there.
We were racing trains, man. Right here, there's a big tunnel that train is about ready to go into. And get away from it, land. But yeah, racing trains. What can I say? You see it? You see it moving, you want to race it, right? So anyway, a lot of fun. Here's Rob Kells. This is some smiling, laughing fool there at GW. Doing demos. I mean, I did a lot of traveling back and forth across this country with the loaded gliders and doing demos. Every time, it was so much fun. I mean, here I am launching a guy at the Turo on Cape Cod. And I just know this is going to be trouble. I'm the guy standing in the back of the great flight team going off. This is going to not because he's got to land back up top, and it's a very small landing. And he busted a glider, so I had work to do that. So anyhow, next slide. And
Was that George
go back.
in the center?
George Reeves?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh, down in that picture?
Yeah.
No, these are guys that look out Mount Flavor.
The middle.
The middle guy.
That guy? No, that guy?
Right there, yeah.
No,
No, it's-
I don't know who he is. That was the Ellenville, or Elmira.
For what?
The guy lifting the
Oh, I do know who that is. Steve something.
hey, yeah, pilot du jour. Got some local press. This was, young marketing director thinks it's cool to have an ad that says screw the head, fly the kite. Some of you didn't like that, so they wrote me a letter, and I thought I'd keep it, put it in here, just because, and there was a little, we won't worry about that.
Okay.
We'll keep
We
moving.
lost the commercial.
Yeah, we lost the commercial. Did a Chevy commercial that was really excellent. They did a very good production of that. You know, that's.
Oh, no, not from beginning, oh, no.
That's right, click through. But that was, that's one of my, you know, I just love that pressure of the filming and getting it and doing it. And I really think that that's important for our sport to be able to be highlighted with that professional production and those kind of exposures that we get. I think it's really important to have those and do it right and represent. That little Chevy commercial ran around the Bay Area for I don't know, 6 months, almost a year. Paid decent and was really well done.
Paid health insurance.
Paid health insurance at the time we really needed when Julianne was having her first boys. Again, more demo days. Load up the car, get out on the road, and this is in Morningside. I've driven from Salinas out to Morningside for the glide angle contest, and just spending some tremendous time with Jeff Nicolay at that park and having just a wonderful time. And thank you, John, for taking it on and keeping it and preserving it. And you know, that is a gem in hang gliding, and so nice to see that it's still out there. Bruce Hawk, my good buddy Bruce Hawk down at Sun and Fun. The USHGA for a number of years really participated heavily in Sun and Fun and did some events with the Sailplane Association, and I was very involved with that. I thought, again, very important to stay in front of the public with our product, because you know, we can talk and be enthusiastic amongst ourselves, and that's all well and fine, but unless the public hears about it and the public gets it and they get a better picture of it than, I know somebody who died of hang gliding, I think it's really very, very important that we keep putting ourselves out there. So, and the mentors that I've had in this sport, just amazing. You know, if you stand around quietly and listen to people, you learn some amazing things, and you really, you know, Jean-Michel and I worked so closely with, you know, at Flight Designs. I mean, Flight Designs, it was Jean-Michel and Graham Bird and Marty Alameda and Steve Brockman and Ron Hess and Dan Murphy, and the list goes on and on of guys that we got to work with there. Jean-Michel was one of the most generous individuals with his sharing of knowledge. Bill Moyes, you know, got to really work with him with the Dragonfly and the Moyes family. I mean, those people are just, they're still so strong and into the sport and doing stuff. Hungry Joe, the tug pilot, is there going, Bill, you're full of shit, or something like that. But Bill loved his shops. He told me he was never happier than when he had a shed to clean up. And he had sheds around the world that he had to clean up, so he was a happy man. There's Bill Bennett, the jolly old Australian, and he was promoting this little trike, a fully faired trike that they let me fly, and it was really amazing. It had a control frame cut out in the full fairing that you would steer through, and really an amazing trike. Flew that at Sun and Fun and then at Wallaby Ranch. Flew some really amazing gliders too. Dick Boone had a prototype that he was working on. This had a very unique steering mechanism in it, flex wing type wing that we gave space and material at Airwave to build, and then I had to fly it. And flew it a couple of times. That's all right. Flew it a couple of times at the marina, and he had some control issues, so we had to take it higher. Go figure, right? And so survived that one. But you know, this is just a fun picture. Mikey Dew from no, there's Gustavo. Sorry, Gustavo from the name's right there. From Airwave. Just next time. we did a lot of testing with gliders at Airwave, and this is one that shows, you know, what the kind of punishing loads that we put on gliders, so that when, you know, I'm out there bending it down to back in shape, you guys see that happening? You're not there. I mean, these gliders go through some torturous testing to make sure that when you fly in. Rob was telling me a story the other day about a little Genesis that somebody was doing some really horrible wing over maneuvers and flopped 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 until it hit the ground and didn't break. The guy didn't have it, you know, wasn't hurt. Not that you want to go out and do that, mind you, but the gliders are very robust. So some load testing that we did there. We were recognized in '95 to the Space Technology Hall of Fame. John Michelle and I at Pacific Airways were very proud of that. The United States Space Foundation and NASA put those out. You know, it was just wonderful recognition for a really great company, Pacific Airways. We had teams, we ran teams, and we had some really great competition teams that we worked with over the years. This is one from, I believe, the Chelan Nationals, if I'm remembering. It's written right there again. Chelan Nationals, great teams, really great people. We sponsored, sponsored Dan Buchanan at air shows. Again, exposure. And anytime somebody would come to me and say, hey, I'm going to fly in front of a bunch of people, can I borrow a glider? It's like, yeah, put Airwave on it and get it going. He put Airwave on it, he put firecrackers on it, he put band. He had Wayne Hanley chopping those streamers off in flight while he's towing up behind his tow rig, and air shows loved him. Dan Buchanan was a wheelchair user, so he would get out of his hang glider and he'd have all of these streamer tapes with him, and he'd go around the crowd in his wheelchair and give streamer tape to kids. And talk about exposure. Air shows, I've heard, are the #1 spectator event in America, aside from baseball games. So write that down, John, and let's go do some air shows. Let's go do some air shows. Next, there. Again, team pilots, Lakeview. You think it was a sunny day up there for a couple of weeks? We had some sun coming down. So,
There you are, beer.
yeah, I had a beer. So anyhow, wonderful people. Wonderful people. Yep, Rich Sauer, Dennis Pagan, Greg Winowski, Redo's in there yet. We're on camera, Redo. Claire. Yeah. Claire, yes. Renata. Yep. Wonderful times. Next. After we closed Pacific Airwave, I was looking for something to do. We were building these wings for this company up in Sharon, Pennsylvania, Lakeland Ultralights. And so I took a job with Jim Lee, Ivor J. Lee, not to be mistaken, Ivor J. Lee up in Florida, or excuse me, up in Sharon, Pennsylvania. We were building these amphibious trikes, and the wings were made by, at that point, those were all made by Pacific Airways, and subsequently they were going to be built by Cameron Blevins at Northwing, who basically rose from the ashes of Pacific Airways. Long story short, you know, he's done very well with that. And that was out on an early test flight up in Sharon, Pennsylvania with that. So, next. And again, looking for exposure, man, always looking for exposure, even at the cost of what could be a very disastrous happening. But that stunt that we did, this gentleman, John Cockleman, who's hanging on the bungee cord here, said, hey, you know what, he formed Bungee Adventures, one of the first commercial bungee operations, and he thought, hey, let's go bungee jump out of a hang glider. And I thought, well, it'll take the loads, and I am such a good, present fucking pilot that I can handle it. I was
You needed
wrong.
that 3 second delay.
I was wrong.
Sorry, man.
That's fine. That's fine. That's the MTV video. You can find the link on the Rogallo Foundation page to that and a couple other pretty cool videos. But that went really wrong. I couldn't control the glider, and I ended up getting slung into that down tube, or basically, I don't know what went wrong, but it went wrong really fast. And I ended up coming down under canopy. So Joanne doesn't want to see any more of that.
No, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. But then I got into the moist gliders. After that, the Lakeland Ultralights thing, got into selling moist, and the Lightspeed was, again, one of those next level hang gliders. Really phenomenal performance, and I guess I still like speed, because we went speed gliding, and this speed gliding, this is at 11, coming around one of the lower pylons. That's on approach into Lookout Mountain Flight Park for one of the big events we did out there. I was not always the fastest guy out there, but I would push. I like pushing, and the push is really fun. But I'd always fly stock Lightspeed. I never modified it beyond anything other than flying them tight. And as you see here, it's not super tight, but I always like to fly what we would sell. You know, fly what you could buy, kind of thing. So next. Here's another shadow shot of rounding the pylon, so you can see we didn't mind getting close. And yeah, I have a race face sometimes. So go on. They've seen enough of that today. More racing, Funston Air races. I mean, when we took the Lightspeeds to Funston to race, it was pretty phenomenal. I was really fortunate when Johnny Duran and Craig Cooper came out to Funston to race, and this is 2015. So what's that? 35 years later. Than when Rapinelli, Bolger, and I were flying, and it was almost the same. So that's it. I was flying the Doodlebug for a little while and really wanted to get next level with it. I thought the way that harness was set up wasn't really ideal for supprone flying. And so I worked with Dan Armstrong, who's a sailplane builder down in Tehachapi, to come up with the design for basically he gave me the core and the thickness layout for a carbon fiber frame that we eventually built. This is Lucien Decor. He built the carbon fiber for me. He built the plugs. I mean, he did this basically on me cutting out cardboard and figuring stuff out for shapes and things. And really helped put together a beautiful harness that is still in kind of prototype stage, but I think it's an interesting direction for us to take with hang gliding, because see how you're all sitting here in these seats? It gives you a kind of a flying experience in that same sort of position, which I think is important for the general public to be able to visualize themselves flying. This Superman stuff, they don't all get it, but I think this has got some potential. Yes. And then this is my lovely wife Julianne and I on day 2 after we met down in Big Sur in 1990, going tandem. Thanks to Chris Bolfing, we got a tandem glider, and she's been, from 1990 on, she's been my constant companion in everything, family, life, hang gliding, everything. So. Thank you. Yeah, next slide. And these are our 2 boys when they were little guys. I stepped away from hang gliding in a pretty big way because of them, because I found hang gliding was taking all my weekends, and I needed that time with them because they were in school, so I needed to be available for them on the weekends. And so they're much older now. The one on the left is Avery. He's now 30 years old, lives in Steamboat Springs. Is a snowboard fanatic, works on the mountain year-round. Jeremy is graduating from journalism school next week in Sac State Journalism, and they're just joys. And I wish they could be here, and I'm really glad Nick and Quinn are here with Jeff, my good buddy Jeff, to represent the Suns. So, anyhow.
Yay.
And really just back to thanking Rog for the design, the foundation for the recognition, John for the promotion, and all of you for important.